Good morning, my name is Christelle from Frans, the Klerk Independent Technical Analyst. The first one on our list is Calgro M. And this week I want to just highlight again the Golden Cross and the Death Cross formation. And what those are basically the use of two moving averages within a graph. And once the shorter moving average starts to break upwards through the longer moving average, it is seen as a bullish trend confirmation, referred to as a golden cross formation. And the inverse applies on the bearish trend confirmation. Once the shorter moving average starts to break downwards through the longer moving average, confirmation that the bearish trend towards the share is in place. Now, these are weekly graphs. And for this exercise, I've used the 40 and 20 week moving averages. So the 40-week moving average represents the 200-day moving average on the daily graph. And the 20 moving average represents the 100-day moving average on a daily graph. But one should remember that when you use moving averages, sometimes you have to play around with them to see whether the 20 and the 10 might not confirm bullish and bearish trends in a better way than the 40 and 20 does. Because a lot has to play with the average movement of the share price. But for now, we're going to stick to the 40 and 20. Our favorite, of course, the stochastic highlights that Calgro M is overbought. But very important, have a look here. My green line, in this case, the 20 moving average, which is the shorter one of the two, has already broken upwards here in around August through that longer moving average, the 40-week moving average. And this is where my golden cross formation was confirmed, which confirmed that the bullish trend towards the share is still in place. Yes, the share has stopped making new highs. Yes, it is the same level as the resistance there in October 2021, which is seen as negative. But the bullish overall trend for long-term investors on a weekly graph using the 20 and 40 is still in place. Obviously, once that second support, I'll give you that level now, starts to change into a resistance, the first warning will signal. I already have a negative divergence on my stochastic. What does that mean? The probability for the instrument to pull back to lower levels is more likely. Now, my second warning will be when that green line, waiting at R3.86, which represents the 20-week moving average, starts to change into a resistance. And then obviously, once my 40-week, the red line, 334, starts to change into a resistance, that will be the third warning. Once that upper band, and let me give you those levels, where that high found resistance at 494 on a line graph, once 494 Rand starts to change into a support again, we can assume that the momentum to the top can continue. And that strong support on the line graph is waiting at 4 Rand 20, where my first warning will be on the cards when Calgro M starts to change that level into a resistance. Very important, the fact that this resistance, now recent resistance here in the beginning of October, is almost at the same level as that resistance there in October 21. That is seen as very negative. Ladies and gentlemen, that tells me that at those levels, there's just not enough buyers to change that resistance into a support. Not enough of a belief that the share is worth more than around 5 Rand. And that is seen as a negative. So once that level of that exact level of 494 starts to change into a support and remain one, we can believe that, hey, they are the informed capital and investors that believe that the share is worth 5 Rand and even higher. Keep the stochastic in eyes view close by, because once it becomes oversold again, depending on how fast it drops or for how long it drops, this can maybe become an opportunity to buy again. Second one on our list is Bidvest. Ticker on our exchange, BVT. We can see there is a head and shoulder formation. So I'm going to use this horizontal line. That is on the line graph. That is possibly, that has been confirmed once that support at 265.95 changed into a resistance. My 20-week moving average running at 269.18 has already changed into a resistance, and now it's approaching that 40-week. It's testing it at the moment. It can easily keep it a support, and that will be seen as positive. But more importantly, it tells me that the investors believe that Bidvest can go higher. Now, very important, the stochastic is in oversold territory. What does that mean? It means the probability for the instrument to bounce to higher levels is more likely. However, I don't have a positive the divergence yet. The blue line has not broken upwards through my orange line yet. So technically, we should wait for that and see whether that 40-week moving average remains a support, and that will be seen as positive. My bullish trend confirmation towards Bidvest is still in place on the golden cross formation, where that green line has confirmed support on the 40-week moving average, the red line, and is still pointing upward. There are investors that only trade golden cross and death cross formations. So maybe one of the formations that you can start interpreting in your or adding to your graphs. Sappi. Also a share that it really has been knocked very, very hard at the moment, but it managed to recover when it found support here in July of this year. But it's found resistance there on that, it's caught within a, depending where you want to start it, but a falling wedge formation. There you go. I would rather call this a channel. Why? A descending channel, because the mouth of the channel looks like it's almost the same in width of the tail, and that's when we call it a channel. So the share is scored within a descending channel at the moment. Optimism will only be confirmed once that upper band starts to change into a support again, and that's waiting around 45 Rand 10. But take note of my stochastic. It's already confirmed a negative divergence in overbought territory, which means I can probably see more downside, more profit taking first before I see a proper turnaround. Now, in Sappi's case, we've got confirmation there of a death cross, where the green line could not change that 40-week moving average represented by the red line into a support. It kept it a resistance and basically confirmed that the death cross is still in place. And that was confirmation that the bearish trend towards Sappi is still there. If you look at the history of Sappi, you can see there was beautiful confirmations in the past. Beautiful confirmation of my death cross. Beautiful confirmation of a golden cross. Again, death cross was negative, but immediately after a couple of weeks confirmed, and now again we've seen it again. So we can confirm, or we can with some level of certainty and say, hey, as long as the bearish trend on Sappi is in place, I don't really want to add to the position, or two, I want to wait for the share to become oversold again and wait for confirmation of the next golden cross, and then maybe add to the position or enter the share for the first time. Now, confirmation will be above that upper band. Obviously, we're already below the 40-week, which means the long-term sentiment towards is negative. But the 20-week moving average is still a support. That can act as well as a critical level to say, listen, below 40 Rand 79 again, the tears will flow again, and then we can assume the share can maybe even pull back and test even the lower band of this descending channel. So at the moment, let's hope 40 Rand 79 remains a support, and let's hope that the share starts to turn around, even in overbought levels, and starts to change that upper band into a support. What is the target of a descending channel? It's the width of the channel projected upwards from where the formation will be confirmed, implying that we can possibly see Sappi at 55 Rand 31 should the optimism remain in place. Should the share start to turn around and confirm a golden cross formation, we can say, listen, the bullish trend then is in place, and that will be seen as positive. Don't forget to send through your request for next week's show via Twitter or email at admin@fransdeklerk. Have a fantastic week. Take care.